Who's sending a message?
Hello, everybody. It is your boy Shellback TJC, along with your other boy, the Atlantean. I have just seen Sonic the Hedgehog, and the Atlantean beat me to it. I'm not sure when you saw it, but when did you see it?
I saw it Friday night.
Oh, that was opening night, yeah. I think somebody told me it opened on Valentine's.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, well, don't choke on it. Did it have a bone in it? Good Lord, you all right?
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. People die on my streams every day. It's fine.
Oh God, that was.
So
All right, hang on a second.
yeah.
That was unexpected.
Um,
Oh God, that hurt.
right.
Jesus
Christ. Let's see here.
All right, there we go. I'm really glad the camera's off. Holy shit.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah.
It's kind of
That was embarrassing.
Yeah,
No.
it's kind of bad when you like asphyxiate on on camera.
Something. Yeah. No, I saw it Friday night. I think opening night was Friday. I'm not sure. Quick Google search to be able to tell. They said it was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. What the hell am I talking about? Valentine's Day. But they were also talking about. There's also articles going on about how Thursday, the opening night was, disappointing or whatever. So I think I think either opened on Thursday or Friday. I couldn't tell you. All right, come on. That stupid thing. I gotta say, I still have my render going. My animation's still rendering up, and I have this going. So my computer doesn't really want to make Google work for some reason. Come on, there you go. When did it come out?
Somebody told me it was Valentine's, which was
it was
Friday, I think. Yeah,
but for some reason there was Thursday Sonic movie. Yeah, say worse. And there's an article right here. It says Sonic has a. I can actually bring this up on the screen if you want.
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to. I can't even spell your name. Atlantean. There we go. I'm trying to tweet this damn thing out here.
It's okay if you spell it wrong. It's fine.
Oh,
no, so there's an article that I read from Screen Rant, our favorite people, saying that the Thursday's box office was lower than Birds of Prey, but the film is still projected to have a solid opening weekend. like that really means anything,
Well, I mean, see, I don't know. I was watching something, and they, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying that like Sonic just has blown the Birds of Prey out of the freaking water.
Oh yeah, the opening weekend is amazing.
Already. Yeah.
I say, what was their opening weekend? Say Sonic's opening weekend so far. Now I'm sick of this crap. The whole this. I'll get into that in a minute. I went into it on my other stream, but and say a 57 million opening weekend. That's what it did. This just this past weekend. I don't know if that's. I think that's domestically. I'm not sure. Weekend box office from CNBC. Yeah, burst into theaters weekend. An estimated 57 million Friday through today. Now it's. Oh God, there's a lot to unpack with this dumb article. I've been around the block, growing up playing video games a lot. So video game movies and everything, and I've seen my fair share of them. But the fact that people are going on about, they're saying this breaks the, what does it say? This breaks the video game movie curse. Like, video game movies haven't had a curse. I mean, it depends on how you want to slice it, I suppose. Critical reception, yeah, it's terrible. But even successful horror movies have bad critical reception. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Because you might have a better memory than me, but like here recently, I'm gonna say, since all the Marvel movies started coming out, what, 10 or so years ago.
Yeah, they
That,
started.
you
They
know,
started
that
late
that's
2000s.
when the all the special effects, whatever you want to call it, started really getting good or whatever.
Started
And
being
so,
utilized more. Yes.
yeah. So I mean, it's like superhero movies, video game movies, all that type of stuff, has gained more popularity, with the technology or whatever. But I mean, even back in the day, like the Mario Brothers movie, with freaking what's his
Bob
name?
Hoskins, John
Yes,
Leguizamo,
yes,
and
yes.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I thought that was cool for me back in the day.
If you go back and watch
But,
it now, it's you can definitely see that it's not a very good film, but for some reason it's just enjoyable. The old Mario, I remember watching that when I was like 4, back when NBC had weekend shows. I'm old, I know. It's like back when NBC had weekend movies during the day on Sundays.
well, no, but I mean, if you're talking about the same movie I am and saying that you were 4, I was a little bit older than that.
Yeah, I say you're definitely older than me. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you for noticing.
I don't
That's
I don't mean
awesome.
that in a bad way.
Yeah. You're just lucky I came on your stream, old man.
Hey, and I don't mind coming on the live streams though. It's fun. But no, I remember seeing it when I was young. There's a lot of video game movies that have done really well.
I mean, I gotta get on the old Google box and refresh my memory.
I could tell you offhand, some of the video game movies that actually did really, really well. The first one that actually, knocked video game movies out of the park was the first Mortal Kombat film back in 1995. I say that one did about 99 million on I don't know how big the budget was. I just looked this up earlier and I don't know what the budget was.
Yeah, I remember that one, and
yeah, it was a budget of 18 million. It did 122 overall.
Wow. Yeah. Now, did oh geez Louise, his name's escaping me now.
Which one?
The guy that played Raiden, he also played the Highlander in the Highlander movies.
Christopher Lambert.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, was he that was he was in that first one, right?
He was in that first one
as Raiden.
I think he was added for star power. And yeah, that role just is half of is like a quarter of what sold the movie.
Yeah.
I say it was. I think it was James Remar who played Raiden in the second one. But let's not talk about the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, is that the one with where James Remar was playing Raiden. Is that the one that everybody has issue with?
That's the one almost everybody on Earth has issue with. Yeah, it was. I mean, seeing it as a kid, back in 1997, yeah, good adrenaline rush. That movie is awesome. And then when you get older, it's like, yeah, okay, I still like it, but it's still a very bad film.
Well, what was it? Annihilation? Is that what it was called?
Annihilation, yeah.
Okay. I don't. I mean, I kind of remember it, but it's been forever and a day since I've seen
Yeah,
it. So
it's a forgettable movie, really.
Yeah.
It's fun when you watch it, but it's
yeah.
you know.
I mean, I don't think I minded it that much, but anyway, hey, Angelus Draven and RC from the NYC. Could you guys do us a favor and like tweet this shit out, please? It would be much appreciated. And welcome. Thank you for coming, by the way. Yeah, Draven says Annihilation was terrible.
Annihilation definitely was terrible.
But I don't know, dude. I'd have to go back and watch them again. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, the I do, I do remember Christopher Lambert's it's just like he just had that smoothness, and with that gravelly voice of his, and it just and I just remember seeing him with like with the
long hair and the hat.
Yeah, with the hat, and like it was down, like you could only see like the lower half of his face, and he did that, infamous chuckle of his, like,
he definitely played that theatric act that up really, really well.
But
there's a lot of good moments of him. I might make a compilation of that someday.
Well, I mean, it's like even now, which I mean, hell, what game, what number are they on? Like freaking 11 or something?
For what?
The actual video game of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, they just released Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I actually never really owned a video game console.
No.
And like the last time I was like really into playing video games, they still came in cartridges. So
I mean, technically they still do come in cartridges depending on the system,
but like, I mean, not to date myself, but there was this little company called Atari, and we thought that was just the best thing since sliced bread, being able to play Pac-Man at home. Now, and granted, he was always facing the same direction no matter where he went.
And he looked nothing like Pac-Man.
Yeah, but no, dude. So, and like, I don't know where I picked it up, but I came across this T-shirt with an old school Nintendo controller on it.
Yeah,
and it said like know your roots or something, about your roots, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I love the shirt, but I'm like, it's a little bit of false advertising for me, because if it was actually my roots, it would be that, that Atari freaking joystick, but
yeah. As most people started with a Nintendo back in the day.
Yeah. No, man, I'm like, early 80s freaking Atari is like my actual roots. But
Yeah.
like so like the Mario, the Super Mario Brothers movie came out in 1993.
Did it come out in
And
1993?
yeah, so I was 22. Yeah. But I'm like, and that's another one too. I grew up playing Donkey Kong too, back in the day. Like on an actual arcade machine that was like 6 foot tall. So not these little 3 foot jobbies that you can buy in Walmart now. Although I really want to, but I can't justify spending $300 or $400 on a little video game right now. Uh-oh, what happened? What'd you do? Hello? Are we having some technical difficulties here? Something's going on. Hey, can you guys in the chat hear me? What happened? What does 5x5 mean, RC? Yeah, I don't know. Freaking my boy just like went poof. I don't know. I've tried to add him.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, all right.
Technical error. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah, me neither.
Browser kicked out or something.
I clicked on you like at least twice, and like, nope.
Okay, let's try this again.
That's cool.
Okay, so where were
we? We're only entertaining a few people right now, so it's like,
yeah, that would have been.
They're like,
So what were we talking about? Mario Brothers, 1993.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm let's see what. But they're talking about old school video game movies. There was Mario, there was Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
Street Fighter with old Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, Street Fighter actually came out before Mortal Kombat.
Did it?
Yeah, it came out in around Christmas time of '94. They wanted to get it out and beat Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
and that didn't go so well.
My memory's not quite that good. I don't guess not without.
That was something I learned much later, actually.
I didn't have time to do my homework before I decided to do this.
Oh, that was this from a video I watched a long time ago. All right, so there's video game movies. There's been a lot of video game movies that have been released over the years.
But so I mean, so what did you think about Sonic though? I really like it.
It's pretty good actually.
But believe it or not, I did find something wrong with it.
Oh, I found a lot of things wrong with it.
I couldn't call myself a fan of Minister if I didn't find something wrong with it. Although my thing is like very minute, actually. The fact that James Marsden referred to his Toyota Tacoma as a car. But yeah, so But that was it though. That was it.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
That.
so I don't know. Yeah, sorry, people. Who, like, oh my God,
I love this movie, but you refer to that damn truck as a car, you little bastard.
He's gonna drop a bomb on us, and then here I am. Yeah, no, he called the truck a car. But no, man. Yeah.
Oh God.
But I don't know. I do though. I thought it was, I thought it was very well done. And it actually kind of like gives me hope for gives me hope for Hollywood a little bit.
Doesn't give me hope for him.
Well, I mean, a sliver of hope is a sliver of hope, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's it wasn't, I didn't get no wokeness from it or anything like that.
No, it definitely didn't have anything close to what you'd consider PC, which is a good thing because our community would latch onto that like a freaking bloodsucker.
But and I mean, and the thing is, like, they actually, how do I touch upon this subject? So they had like an interracial relationship in this movie, and I was I was kind of impressed by that, because I mean, it's like, I don't know, yeah, which you see it, it's nothing new. I mean, these days, but like, I guess I didn't know enough about the movie beforehand or whatever. I mean, the trailer, any of the trailers or whatever I seen didn't have the that wonderful looking lady in it. And I want to say her name is I don't know if it's Tika or but it's oh, come on. Welcome to Streaming 101 with Showback TJC. Here. Pretty sure it's cast. Tika Sumpter. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, very, very beautiful woman.
Oh, absolutely.
So, and I don't know. I just thought it was cool, that they had a white male black woman couple.
Yeah. The best part is it really didn't draw attention to it like you'd have expected.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
it's like it's obviously not ordinary.
Which is definitely part of the appeal. I mean, it's just like she was just Maddie, Maddie Wachowski.
Yeah. It's not like this is my black wife, Maddie, and
yeah, right.
she has all this melatonin, and look at how woke we are, jazz hands.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Like they didn't advertise that, in the trailers and stuff like they did, hey, look at, Whammon Power, in Captain Marvel and,
yeah.
Insert name of movie here, that they've been trying to do lately.
I think part of it too is that Sega was actually closely attached to this film.
Yeah,
they were the ones that got wind of the backlash and said, you know what, Paramount, let's go back and do this over.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest thing that I heard about this movie was, when they released the images of Sonic, with like, the small eyeballs
looking like the monkey kid from Jumanji.
Yeah, and people, right? Actually, now that you mention it, yeah,
there were memes with them side by side, the little monkey kid, and then Sonic. It's like, oh my god,
that just
it's creepy when you think about it, isn't it?
You just hold on. Just for a moment.
Yeah, it's creepy when you think about that.
You just blew my mind right now. Yes, because I'm like, and that was plus you referenced like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, the old Jumanji movie,
dude. I was a super Robin Williams fan.
Oh, Robin Williams is amazing.
But oh crap. Well, there goes the stream.
What?
Biden touches here.
Oh. Hey,
keep your hands to yourself, Biden.
There's a pool in the corner, I think, Biden. Go keep yourself busy.
And no sniffing either. Okay.
But it's like, the first one you see, and I'm not gonna lie, the moment I even heard about this film coming out, before it even dropped, a trailer, when the poster was released, I'm like, you know what, we don't need this, go away. So I had just coming in initially, with bad expectations, like it doesn't need to exist, and then the first trailer dropped, I'm like, this is terrible.
Now was that a trailer with the original?
That was the very first trailer they dropped, with the original Sonic. Because they didn't release a trailer after that until after they did up his design, which was the second trailer, the new official trailer. So, I was hating this, well before the trailer was dropped, and I was hating it even more when the trailer was dropped, just because of the design.
Yeah.
I mean, the humor was funny to me. I thought it was funny, but that design was just, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? In fact, when I was on Twitter or whatever a little bit ago, I saw some GIFs, and one of them is of the small-eyed Sonic, saying like meow or something.
Yeah. It's just creepy when you see that. Just like, it's too humanoid for what Sonic is.
Yeah.
And it's just, in the game, Sonic was always this cartoony looking being.
Right.
But yeah, it's so going into this, I was like, yeah. And then I saw the second release trailer. I'm like, I actually think this is going to be good. And I went and saw it Friday night. And I'm like, yeah, that was better than I expected. A good part of it is because of Jim Carrey.
Yeah, bless his psycho freaking heart. But
let's say separating the art from the artist. He plays the intelligent psychotic very, very well.
Right.
And there's a few films he's done that in. The first Ace Ventura, he did that really well. The sort of sociopathic feeling guy who was incredibly smart. And this is just Ace Ventura, on a mad scientist level.
Right. I know, like, because, like, I know he did a good job because, like when he got out when he got out of the truck, right, and he walks up to shit, I can't remember
The sergeant.
his actual name. The major.
Yeah, Major Neil. Is it Neil McDonald or something like that?
Yeah, anyway,
Neil McDonald.
I'll look it up in a minute. But
yeah, the guy you've seen everywhere but can never place his name.
I know he's like he's almost like a white Samuel L. Jackson. You know, I mean, he's been in all kinds of movies.
Oh yeah, he's a bit like Michael Wincott in that respect. He has that voice, and you know who it is, but you can't always place the name.
Yeah, but no, when he came out of the truck and walked up to the major, right, and was just, like from, he goes from 0 to freaking asshole in like 0.7 seconds, and dude, I like that literally came out of my mouth like, you fucking asshole, and I'm so I know he did a good job,
Oh yeah, he's like the moment he walks up, he's like, "Who's in charge here?"
Yeah,
and he's just about to answer him. He's like, "Nope."
Yeah, right. I know it's
nope.
like
wrong.
The proverbial, you can't get a word in edgewise, and like,
and it's just great from there. I mean, some of the character quirks were a bit annoying to me.
Yeah.
In some respects, they took it a little too straight and narrow there, but for the rest of it was funny.
Like one of the I don't know if it was necessarily an actual review, but I saw something somewhere, and they described it as a Ace Ventura-esque portrayal or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, I can kind of see that, but
it definitely had that feel.
Yeah. But he's like, I mean, but yeah, he did a good job. I mean,
he did a great job.
I mean, like, I was almost like, you toxic male, but but luckily I stopped myself. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I
say that. I say, oh god, what was it? I was thinking of something. I just forgot.
Yeah, it happens. Wait till you get to be my age.
Oh god. No, he was a lot of fun. The dancing scene was one of my favorite parts. When he's in his truck analyzing the quill, he just puts on this music. He starts dancing. It just becomes a dance number for Jim Carrey. It's like, what the hell is going on? And then his buddy comes up behind him. He's like, "Would you like a latte?"
Yeah, right.
He just scares him. He's like, "Ah!"
Yeah. I love a latte. The way I love the way you make them or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, that's funny.
And then he puts on his jumpsuit, and towards the end of the film, I'm saying it's kind of hard to talk about this without going into spoilers too.
Yeah,
because people aren't gonna. There's a few things I had an issue with, mostly because of the translation from movie story to game story. The whole rings being teleporting objects, the tiny rings, I mean, being teleporting objects, kind of is like, okay, that's a bit weird. Because especially in the games, you had smaller rings which you could pick up and carry.
Yeah.
And then there would be giant rings that would be that would transport you elsewhere. But they weren't one and the same.
Yeah.
And that's what they did with the film. It's like, you have this limited number of magic rings. Use them only when you want to teleport. It's like, okay, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the one thing I remember, about the game was like, they were like bonus points type of thing or whatever. He'd
Yeah.
You'd be running around, and it kind of like on Mario, where you
It was.
you get the coins or whatever.
It was basically.
Sonic would get the rings, and you get more points or whatever.
Yeah, the rings were sort of a life thing in the games. You get hit, you lose your rings, you pick up a ring. Kind of like Mario with his mushrooms. But yeah, they were used for that too. They were pretty much an all-around thing, which is why it's like, yeah, okay, it's a bit wishy-washy, but I can see you want to incorporate the rings a little bit. You could have done it better, but it would be kind of bizarre to have these magical rings floating around green hills.
Right. And like, I guess, for lack of a better term, I'm a bit more of a normie, at least in the respect of, this movie or Sonic or whatever, than you are. So like, me, I'm guessing that this was one of your issues with the movie. But like I had no problem. Like I said, I'm pretty much, great, with the entire movie. So like I actually had to find something, like James Marsden referring to a Toyota Tacoma as a car, to actually have something crappy to say about the movie, so I can keep my the Fandom Menace card that I'm still waiting on the mail for. Actually,
no.
And they told me that's what the dues was for. They're like, you got to pay your dues or we won't send you a card. I'm kidding, people. There is no dues. There is no none of that stuff. Contrary to popular belief of people who don't like people who consider themselves the Fandom Menace. All right. Hashtag disclaimer or whatever. Don't whatever. Anyway. But I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed because like I actually have developed like a couple of haters or whatever with the that one group that likes to go around bothering everybody.
Which one?
Well, like
are you talking like
not like the ones that like Snowdub I think recently had a live stream with like one of them or the main one or something.
Are we talking
like
the
ones that do all the Star Trek characters?
Are we talking the Doomcock knockoff guy and his buddies or somebody else? Like I said, because there's a lot.
No, like
there's a couple I ran afoul of this past week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, like I know that they like to troll Snowdub, which is
I know Snowdub. I know of Snowdub. I don't really know him, but I know who he is.
But yeah, I don't know. They're just like a. I don't know. I honestly think they're kind of like a equal opportunity.
Are you talking the are you talking the faceless troll accounts on Twitter that hide behind character names and some of them have the card and data and Star Trek? Those guys, okay. See, I wasn't sure who you're talking about, so I wasn't gonna drop any names. But yeah, all those guys are everywhere.
Like I did a live stream on the 9th.
Yeah.
Talking about dating and relationships, and some of them came in there and was just like, saying stupid crap. It's like, luckily though, pretty much everybody on the panel, had wrenches and Tommy was in there, I mean, and I think you at least know of Tommy probably.
No, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Tommy, that's it. He's just you'll see him in chats as Tommy, and like he's got.
Hey, Tommy.
Yeah, speak of the devil. You know, well, were your ears burning, Tommy? We were just talking about you.
Okay.
And
Yes,
the fact, I mean, like, dude, Tommy is like the freaking like mod of mods. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, like, dude, he was. It's like these it's like these these trolls, like I said, were managed to find their way onto that
Onto the stream.
dating live stream I did, and freaking Tommy was like, he was like a damn human freaking fly swatter. I mean, it's just like they got in a few good uh freaking comments, but then I was like, all right, come on, and then it was just like instantly, Tommy was like, pow, 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 just like you know knocking them out left and right. I mean, it's like he was like a freaking ninja, freaking troll ninja, anti troll ninja.
Anti-troll. Yeah,
But
it's
anyway, yeah, I
yeah.
don't.
They seem to get around.
Yeah, but
I don't interact with them. I most of those guys, I'm just like, yeah, okay. I don't want to deal with you. I'm blocking you.
Right. Well, like that's one of the things, like with uh I'm I don't know, you call it laziness or something, but like I haven't blocked anybody yet. I just in a way I find it a bit uh
Unsporting.
it's kind of appropriate that they've been using Star
Trek characters.
Trek, because it almost feels like it almost feels like they're the Borg, like and the reason I haven't blocked any of them is because blocking is futile. It's like, because you block one account or whatever, and then here comes another one, and another one, and another one, and another
Oh
one,
yeah.
and
So they.
and that's the thing too. Like I said, I haven't blocked any of them, and they still, it was still like a new one here, a new one there, and like talking about the same shit, and it's like,
Oh
really,
yeah.
it's like,
That's what they do. They're just cockroaches. They're like rabbits. They populate and then they just spread around.
but well, that and the thing is, it's like, one would say something, and then another one would say like damn near the exact same thing, and it's like, oh, you again, and it's like, what do you mean me again? I'm brand new, and
Yeah, it's like
it's like,
you don't see me. It's like
uh,
it's like the twin Spider-Man meme. It's like, oh.
yeah,
It's like, oh no, not me, him, no, not you, me, over there.
yeah, right, yeah.
It's like,
It's
take the
like
mask off.
it's
We know
like
you're the same.
right. It's like a schizophrenic John Cena or something. You don't see me. Like,
It's like it's not me. I'm over there. I'm
yeah,
somebody
right,
else. As he's wearing a fake
right.
mustache. It's like, oh
But and I know we're like off on a tangent, but in a way,
no,
I'm
it's
kind of like
fine.
you. I'm kind of like you. Like I although I mean, even though like we haven't been hit by a large audience yet, and it may be due to the fact that there's still quite a few people that haven't seen the movie yet, and they might be afraid that we're like talking about spoilers or something. But
Yeah.
um anyway, I I would I'd talk to these people, right? And actually try and have a civilized adult conversation with them, and use use reasonable dialect,
Yeah.
and use reason and all that stuff, like normal people do, or Vulcans, and but it's like, and they're like, oh yeah, well, see, this is Shellback, this is why I like you and stuff, because you don't block us like all those other people do, and yada yada, and
It's like,
which, like I said, I kind of gave at least part of my reasoning for that.
yeah.
And then, but they're like, I like you, and then they'd come, with like, hey, can you tell Snowdub, or can you say this or whatever to so and so, and and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, and I'd you know I'd be like thinking to myself, actually, like, yeah, you're going to hell for lying to them, but you know, but I like here recently, I sent a thing to Snowdub and saying something about, uh, I heard you're being mean and yada yada. You shouldn't be mean, or I'm. This isn't exactly what I said. I'm just paraphrasing or whatever. But and then I put like a question mark, but and then uh, you know, uh, obviously, they'd see it or whatever, and they'd be like, "Hey, did you tell Snowdub to that he should apologize to us or whatever?" And I'm like,
yeah,
but
maybe no.
and I was like, and then they'd either they'd see the tweet that I sent to him or whatever. Because I mean, I do it on a public tweet, right? So,
Yeah.
and they're like, you know, uh, you suck, and you mean to tell me that you advocate, violence and this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, you're a bad person for not, condemning this behavior, and it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's very hard to um take them seriously, and I say them because who knows how
Who knows
many
how many there
there actually
actually
are.
are?
Yeah. um
Yeah.
it's like, that and the thing is, like they'll say stuff, right? They'll say stuff to people, and then somebody will like give them a taste of their own medicine, and then they're like, "Oh my God, he called me a name and told me to go kill myself or something," and it's like, I'm like, come on, I mean, it's and they part of me thinks that they actually feel like they're, that they have like they feel like they have the superior moral high ground or something.
Mhm.
So, and it's like, they hate on people like Snowdub, or Drunk 3PO, or everybody's favorite hater to hate on or whatever, Jeremy Griggs,
Yeah.
and it's, I mean, I don't know. I just, it's, I don't know. I just, I guess it's one of the occupational hazards of, being on YouTube and Twitter,
Yeah. I say part of if you're talking about the trolls like that, part of it is just being associated with the fandom, and it's just carrying that hashtag paints a target on all of our backs.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
and I've gotten that too. You know,
Yeah.
like I haven't, it'd be like a case of, I haven't said or done anything to anyone, and then this person, comes onto my Twitter or whatever and is like, you suck, and this,
Oh,
that, and the
yeah.
other thing, and it's like, I'm like, what have I done to you? Like, you're part of the fandom menace. You're toxic and
Pretty much.
all this stuff. And it's like, and this may not be very nice or Christian of me, but I'm like, who the fuck, like, it's like, I mean, I don't know. It's like these people actually, think that this is like the real world or something, and which, I mean, there are people that are on, YouTube and Twitter who actually talk about serious things, in the real world and all this stuff. But and there are people on here that even, that talk about, pop culture and stuff that, you know um equate things to the real world,
Yeah.
and that's fine, but it's like, um if you say something about something and they don't like it, you're like instantly some sort of ist or
Yep.
phobe or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, um real life experience. If you're around long enough, you'll learn that, you don't necessarily have to agree with somebody on their, what they like, or how they decide to live or whatever, to be able to coexist and get along with them.
Right.
Um, I mean, like, I and it's funny, because like, um, a lot of people, um, even I mean, it's gotten better, over the years. But like, back in the day, right? When the Vietnam vets, were coming back, and people are like, baby killer and all this other stuff. I mean, they truly got shat on.
Yeah.
And it. I mean, it's pretty much done like a 180 since then. But even still, there it seemed like um the SJW crowd, they have, it's like, it's almost like Vietnam all over again, because they're like, oh, you're in the military, so you like war and all this stuff. And it's like, no. It's like, I in fact, we're the last ones that want to go to war, actually.
Yeah.
But and I got off on so much of a tangent, I don't know where I was going with this.
We were talking about trolls.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's yeah. Damn it. That's now it's pissed me off, because like, I was actually going somewhere with that. But
I-
it's,
we were
you know
talking about
you
trolls.
get you get to be middle aged, and you get this, you get this thing that I like to refer as sometimers. 'Cause sometimes you remember what the hell you were talking about, and sometimes you don't.
Oh
But yeah, I don't know. I just it's and the unfortunately, there's still that crowd out there,
yes.
but like I know. All right. So I caught it before like it totally left my brain. So like, you know, a lot of people, these days or whatever, um, uh, get into well, I shouldn't say these days because it's kind of always, happened, but you're you grow up somewhere, you're in a certain environment, and that's what you think the world is, right? And you know here, where I live at in Western Washington, it's quite, it's quite liberal, and that's fine, right? But I'm uh especially I guess in my, for lack of a better term, old age, um I'm more conservative or whatever in my um
Views.
political leanings and whatnot, but at the same time, um you know thanks in large part to my time in the military, in the world's greatest navy, um like I met and worked with people from all walks of life. I mean, like, and I mean, you know, I pretty much grew up, a country boy, in southeast Missouri, right? Um, and we, um, and not that I didn't, uh, not that I didn't know black people or have black friends, because I did.
Right.
Um, but the so I mean, I wasn't like exactly a stranger to uh being around, people that didn't, look like, talk like, act like me, but you join the military and you definitely do. Um and so that's one of the things that I'm thankful about in my life is and having served in the military is the fact that I met all kinds of people,
Yeah.
um, and so you know, and I got along with them, um, partly partly because I was raised right, and that you get along with people, you treat them how you want to be treated, the whole golden rule thing,
Yeah. The whole.
and and all that stuff. But I mean, you know I never saw eye to eye with everybody. There was people that had different religious beliefs than me, and people that you know grew up in places that were lot more violent than where I grew up. This, that, and the other thing. Um, and but I mean, we learned how to get along with each other. We learned, how to work with each other. Because I mean, well, you have to. Um, but I mean, it's like, um, one of the coolest guys I ever met, right? And while I was in, You know, it was my first command, and it was this Nigerian guy. His last name was Suleiman,
Right.
and he was like I said, he was Nigerian, and his faith, was Islam. He was Muslim, in his religious beliefs or whatnot. And me and him got, we got along great. I mean, he was a cool dude. And like, and some people, who will listen to this in the future, that are maybe of the nature of the people who we were talking about.
Most
Um,
likely.
they'll hear this and they'll be like, "Oh my God! See, I told you that they're bigots," whatnot. But I mean, part of the military culture, right, is you give each other crap, okay, a lot of it, okay, and so me and the other guys, we'd be like, we'd be kidding around with Solomon, and we'd be like, "Hey, Solomon, it's like, and we'd do like the whole, you know, clicking and whatnot, whatever, and of course, that's definitely not, PC culture humor, right?
No, of
But
course not.
that's part of the, or at least it was when I was in, part of the, the military culture. And you know despite the fact of it definitely not being PC, the thing about it was, when you actually said stuff to people, like that and whatnot, it believe it or not, it's like a term of endearment, like we think you're cool, so we're gonna,
We're gonna
we're
mess
gonna
with
we're gonna we're gonna give you crap, but
yeah.
it's because we think you're cool, and like a lot of people, especially these days, they don't. It's like they
They
don't pick up on that,
they view it as toxic, but
and yeah,
they
right,
expect you to go along. It's like saying these nice. I see these
yeah,
people, getting mad at people who shit talk a lot,
hmm
and it's like, they're going on saying these nice things, and it's like, yeah. It's like
but
they're not
right,
accustomed to it because they look at us like, what's wrong with you?
but the wonderful thing about it though was like, in my case, right, so although, like, if you ask somebody, say, like, Jeremy Griggs, who's from Alabama, anyway, somebody from like Alabama, Georgia, or whatever, I'd tell them where I'm from, and they're like, "You're not Southern. You're not from the South," because Missouri is not, technically considered part of the South, but
No.
when you can practically uh, throw a rock, and hit the states of Kentucky, Tennessee, and Arkansas, you know, and you have grandparents that were born in Louisiana and Arkansas, you consider yourself Southern,
Yeah, you're pretty
but
close to being Southern.
but I mean, like I said, I'd give Suleiman crap, and then he'd come back at me with like this, Southern accent, and be like, "Hey, how y'all doing?" Real, like he's spitting tobacco and shit, So and the and the thing is, it's like, you know, we you got two people who couldn't have grown up more differently, probably.
Yeah.
Um, but yet, him and I, he and I could have been out in public together, and somebody could have said the wrong thing to either one of us, and the other one would be right there, covering the other one's back,
Yeah.
and it's like, people. It's like people don't know how to. It almost seems like a lot of people don't know how to do that anymore. Unless you agree with them to begin with.
Tommy.
Um,
Sorry, that I saw that out of the corner
yeah.
of my eye. I'm like,
Well, he might be from he might be like my sister-in-law. I which we joke around and say that she's from L.A. Except instead of Los Angeles, LA stands for Lower Alabama. Because if it was any further south in Alabama, they'd be in Florida or the Gulf of Mexico.
Right.
But anyway, it's but yeah, and that's the thing. Like I kind of going back to the movie, and the very very fine Miss
Oh, what's her name?
Tika. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hesitating because I wanted to say the last name, Tika Sumpter.
There we go.
The wonderful, beautiful Tika Sumpter, right? That's as somebody who grew up, for all intents and purposes in the South. Like I have no qualms whatsoever with admitting, of having an attraction to Black women, and that's and that's one of the things that some people in the SJW crowd or whatever would probably give me crap about, but it's like, and the thing is though, it's like that, which I don't know, I'm sure there's some stupid ass out there that would be like, they'll see this movie and they'll be like, well, that ain't right. There ain't no black people in Montana. Like they're just, but it's, there's idiots out there everywhere.
Yeah.
But I mean, um, having said, that, and that's the thing with, the female of our species. We got good looking women in all shades, and I just, it doesn't matter to me, I mean, it's your your personality comes first,
Right.
I mean, of course there's, everybody's got their preferences or, things that, appeal to you or whatever. And which, that's just, initial stuff, it's like, you can be like, oh, well, I'm attracted to, Black people, or, I'm attracted to, Asian, Indian, Hispanic, whatever. But that's just the surface, I mean, it's It's and it's the same. It's the same thing with the with the movie. I mean, it was it was initially like the initial cool factor. That James Marsden, a white boy from Montana, had a black wife, but the more appealing part of it was that a they didn't advertise the movie that way, and b that she was a good character.
Yeah.
I mean, like she was the the town veterinarian, and she he when Sonic got hurt, he took he took him, he took Sonic to see his wife, the veterinarian, to so but yeah. Wow.
We definitely went around the
I
barn
just
there.
well I just looked at the chat, and Draven's like, I have dipped my toes into some chocolate loving.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I don't know Angelus, but
yeah.
that seems
Well, hooray for our team, Angelus Draven. Hooray for our team. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, we're just being silly right now. I mean, it's you you like who you like, and don't don't let anybody don't let anybody tell you that, oh well, you can't date that person because, well, you're just fetishizing them or whatever. It's like, no, you know but I mean, if it's like, or like, or if you are, just like having that preference or whatever isn't, it's just a preference. It's not, it's like some of these people try and make mountains out of molehills, because and I don't like outrage culture. I mean, I don't know if that's like still a thing.
oh, it's definitely still a thing.
But if it is, I'm thinking it's on the downslope, along with SJW ism. um although although if Trump gets reelected, and he probably will, it these type of people will probably be alive and well on YouTube and Twitter for the next 4 years.
Oh, they'll be frothing at the mouth.
Which I mean, it's fine with me, and because I mean that's it definitely give some of us things to talk about for the next 4 years.
Some of us, yeah.
But well, memes of destruction, what is going on is we're kind of talking about Sonic the Hedgehog movie. But we've gone far and wide on this tangent and that tangent. But partially because I don't know, even though me and Atlantean have both seen it, a lot of people haven't. So we're like, maybe have dropped like a couple of small spoilers, but we're kind of leery of getting into it real heavy. So we're just kind of like nitpicking at it and kind of talking about certain aspects of it, like how they have like an absolutely gorgeous dark-skinned black woman as James Marsden's wife. You know, even you know, white boy got to shout type of which is still one of my favorite songs of all time. Still one of my favorite songs. Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot. Hell yeah.
Yeah, God, old man.
Like, oh my God. Becky, would you look at her butt? It is so big. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. But yes, I like big butts, and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. When a girl with an itty bitty waist, you know, and a round thing in your face. Anyway, I kind of messed
Like
it
William
up.
Shatner over here talking up the lyrics.
Yeah. Baby got back.
Oh God, I really don't want to. Have you heard the covers that he did of some of these other songs back when he was younger? The poetic readings of I think one of them that he did that just got under my skin was, I mean, all of them got under my skin, but the one that just irritated me the most was his poetic reading of Elton John's Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Yeah, I just oh you oh God. There's nothing that compares to how much you just want to smack him over the head with a chair.
Yeah.
After listening to that.
Speaking of what, dude, I like, and I don't know if he's done it or not, but I could totally picture, because you know you saying nothing compares actually made me think of that song, right? The Sinead O'Connor song, you know, and I could like totally picture William Shatner and be like, nothing compares to you. Or what else would be like a good William Shatner freaking cover?
William Shatner
cover. I know. Oh well, yeah, that. But I was thinking Gold Digger from Kanye.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Can you picture old Bill Shatner doing freaking Gold Digger?
I could picture him doing it in the whitest, funkiest way possible.
Yeah, which I mean, of course they would have to. Of course they would have to edit parts of it, because you know it'd be like, oh, an old white guy said the N-word. You know, yeah, that you know they would have to. Yeah, they'd have to tweak it a little bit there, but. Oh my God! I just made myself think of something else.
Oh boy.
Speaking of, you know, the N-word, right? Freaking the first Rush Hour with you know Jackie Chan in the bar, you know, because you know Chris Tucker, you know, on his way to the back, you know, and like, what's up, my nigga, you know, and like, so you know Jackie Chan's out there waiting, you know, and getting a little bored, so finally, you know, he walks up to the bartender, and you know, he's like, "What's up, my nigga?" And you know, the bartender's like, "What'd you say?"
It's like, what
so he says it like really slow. You know, like,
and the worst part was,
you know, and then you know, cue fight scene, you know, of course, but, you know, I'm just like, oh, dude, that was like,
that was one of the best.
That was cinematic gold right there. I mean, for me, like,
I don't want
you know, a Jackie Chan movie, dude. You can't go wrong with a Jackie Chan movie.
Oh, Jackie Chan is entertaining as hell. One of my favorites that I've seen more recently, Drunken Master was a good one.
Oh yeah,
and I don't mind it with the English dubs, because that's the only way you can really watch it in America for some reason. But I think it'd be funny to watch with the Cantonese and the actual subtitles on the screen.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, which you know, I mean, I don't mind it. But like, you know, you can get away with like a, you know, a Jackie Chan or like an old an old Bruce Lee movie, that's dubbed.
Oh
But
yeah.
like my one thing where I actually did prefer um, the subtitled version was a little anime series called Initial D.
Mhm.
Um, me having grown up, like a gearhead and a car nut. Um, I, I loved Initial D, and the dubbed version was just wasn't as good, like because like oh, and it's been so long since I've seen it. I can't remember everybody's name, but the Takami, was like the main character, right? And his friend, his buddy that wanted to be like him. Um, on the dubbed version, his name was like Iggy or something, right? And it's like, but his real name, was like a whole lot cooler. So, the that's like an instance of where, the English dub version is just, not as good, and you'll be thanking yourself for going and getting like the subtitled version. And I mean, but when you do that, you just kind of have to, you got to learn how to kind of multitask in a way, of being able to like actually watch the show but read at the same time, but, yeah, I don't know. I think that I think that Sonic is gonna do like really, 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 really good.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Take off.
and there's definitely gonna be a sequel. The way that the movie ended, there's definitely gonna be a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Um,
But it also depends on how well it does, financially.
right.
I say the opening weekend is bomb, but it's gonna be what's going to be important is how well it does, this coming week, this coming weekend, how much it drops off, if it drops off at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really see it. I think it's gonna have like at least another good weekend, if not more.
Oh, definitely, yeah, I think it'll do that. I know I'm gonna go see it again. I'm
Yeah,
gonna go see it again later this week.
yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't actually mind. I mean, I would make a more of a point of catching a matinee
Yeah,
the second time around. Um, but because it's like uh, you know, $10 or $11 for just little old me. It's like I
yeah,
don't know. I I mean, I grew up, in like I said, in BFE, Missouri, where like $7 was you know a good chunk of change for a movie ticket.
yeah.
Um, and that was several years ago. But like they the town in Washington where I was stationed at, they actually have, I mean, they've got a regular, indoor theater, but they actually, outside of town, they have a drive-in movie theater.
Yes.
Um, and I would go there. Because like it was always a double feature. Sometimes they'd have a triple feature. Um, except the thing is when they have a triple feature, you're not getting home till like about 3 in the morning. Because the first movie wouldn't start until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Like in the height of the summer.
Right.
Because they got to wait for the sun to go down. But I mean, how long has it been? I mean, it's been several years. At least 5. But still, even just 5 years ago, they were charging $6.50 for an adult. And that was from age 12 up. Age 5, I think, to 11 was $1, and any kid under 5 was free. And it was, like I said, it was always a double feature. So you get 2 movies, for the price of one, at
Right.
least. And of course, they're just like, a regular movie theater. They don't, even though going to a drive-in, it is very easy to bring your own food. And I have done so, a time or two. But I actually try not to. Although, like I might still bring my own soda, but they're it's just like the indoor theaters. They make the majority of their money from concessions.
Right.
And
Oh yeah.
the thing about this movie theater, and I mean, hell, I'll go ahead and give them a plug. It's called the Blue Fox Drive-In Theater, and it's in Oak Harbor, Washington. And they they'd have stuff, but instead of just like freaking jujubes and raisinets, like a lot of movie theaters do. They got freaking pizza, hamburgers, hot dogs, freaking like Philly cheesesteaks,
Yeah.
like actual food,
Yeah, like a drive-in
and
should.
of course, the it was it wasn't like going to McDonald's. I mean, you're gonna pay, a few bucks, for a Philly cheesesteak, but it was it's good food. I mean, it's like actual food, and like uh, back in the day, um, like I mean, I don't know if anybody here has ever seen the cinematic classic Grease. But I realize it may be a guilty pleasure for some people, but I like it. So if you don't, or want to say that I'm like some sort of girly man who likes musicals, you can go suck it. All right. Anyway, but in that movie, then when when they're at the drive-in, they got the speaker on the post, type of thing going on. Well, in your modern day drive-in, um, they actually have I guess you'd say a transponder or whatever.
Mhm.
And they would, and it was usually like, what's the lowest number on the dial, like 87.9 or whatever.
Like 80, like 88,
Um,
something like that. Yeah.
yeah. And so like 87.9 or 88.1, whatever, they would turn they'd flip the switch, and it would go from that actual radio station to the audio of the movie.
Yeah.
So, the sound from your movie is only as good as the stereo system in your car. And although, most modern vehicles do have, a pretty decent stereo in them these days. So, but I mean, it's like, there's nothing like it. I mean, if you have a drive-in theater anywhere near you, and I know that these days that can be a pretty tall task,
There definitely is a
because
tall task.
there's just not that many of them anymore. But and I for one would love to see them make a bit of a comeback. But there's actually another one that's only like a hop and a skip from where I'm living now. But I don't think that they're open all year. The one in Oak Harbor, though, however, I think the one in Oak Harbor is open all year. It's just that, if you're going to see a movie in January, uh, you know, bundle up and make sure you get a good heater in your car.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good time, and they and the like the Blue Fox, they also have like a go-kart track. So, you could go there while the sun was still up, uh, and drive some go-karts for a while, and then watch a couple of movies. But what is it? Really, Tommy? My Model T Ford. Wow. All right. Um. Yeah, I don't know. Like, um, I don't know. Do you have anything like that near you?
Yeah, there's a drive-in just outside of Herman that's been revamped. That's been reopened, I should say. I think it's been open for about 5 years now. Because it used to be because it used to be this empty field that wasn't that it used to have the big the big movie sign, or that big screen, but it was just an empty field. No one was using it for like the past for at least, I don't know, at least 25 years or so.
Yeah.
But they reopened it, they revamped it, and now it's drive-in theater again. But I don't know when they open, but it's usually a summer thing, late spring,
Yeah.
early summer. I don't know when it's open. It's not open right now, but
Right. Yeah, I don't know about the one that's close to me now, but when I was up in Oak Harbor, uh I'm pretty sure that the Blue Fox has been, open since its creation, which was like, back in the 50s.
yeah.
So, and and like they one of the cool things, they they were making or having them made, t-shirts, hoodies, jackets, all this kind of stuff. And like, and straight out asking for donations. Uh, a like I said, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago, when all the movie theaters were switching over to digital projectors.
Right.
And they were like, but they were doing like a donation drive and selling merch and whatnot to help pay for the for the new projector. Because like if they didn't get the new projector, they were going to have to close down,
Right.
right? And and like I said, I'm pretty sure that they have been open continuously since its birth, back in the middle of the last century. And so the and it was cool, because I mean, like, the the community like stepped up. I mean, like, they actually ended up receiving more money than what they needed um for the new projector. And so it's really cool, because like I said, there were a few times where I went to the indoor theater, but pretty much the Blue Fox was like my go-to theater, right? um but yeah, it's a really cool experience,
Yeah.
but what is Tommy saying now? Damn Girl Scouts were panhandling outside my local grocery store. Damn vagrant. I know, right?
Yeah. Panhandling.
Freaking little batches. Mm. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, is it that time of year already?
Oh, I
Freaking,
think so. Yeah, it's getting there.
dude, I need to stock up on some Thin Mints.
I stay
Freaking,
away from them.
yeah, screw the Snickerdoodles and crap. I'm Thin Mints all the way. Like, I mean, I'm rolling up gangsta style, for some Thin Mints. But
No, I stay away from Girl Scout cookies. I don't
mm,
care for them much anymore.
nah,
What time is it? Oh boy.
9:30. It's 9:33 my time.
Wait,
Dude,
where are
I don't
you?
even know. Huh?
Where are you?
I'm West Coast, man.
You're West Coast?
Yeah, I'm in the state of Washington. Yeah,
Oh, bloody hell. I didn't know
yeah,
you were that far away.
yeah. No, which I mean, hell, since we're talking about it, I'm not entirely sure where you're at.
I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I am polar opposite of you. I'm in Maine.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's why I was
like,
it's like 12:30 here.
okay,
I'm like, what?
Herman. I don't remember Herman, because
Uh,
I actually used to live in
you know where Bangor
in
is, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Herman is just outside of Bangor.
Okay. Um, I have a cousin that lives in Bangor. Um, and me and my mother lived in not Farmingdale. In fact, my one I went to 3 different schools my sophomore year. But one of them was Halldale. And it was just to give people an idea of how big some of the towns in Maine are. There was 2 towns that made up this high school, and there was still only like 400 students in the whole 9 through 12.
Oh yeah, that's down
But
that's
um,
down south.
yeah, that's outside of Augusta. Yeah. Um,
Actually, that's between I think that's between Waterville and Augusta.
yeah.
So yeah,
But
it's just south of Waterville. It's
yeah,
right off the highway.
yeah.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I lived in Farmingdale, Maine, for a little while, along with Boscawen, New Hampshire, and Franklin, New Hampshire. And I actually, a couple of years ago, for about a year and a half, was living in New Hampshire once again. First, I was in Ashland, and then went to Plymouth, and then from Plymouth, I went to Nashua. And I was there for a little over a year in Nashua.
yeah.
But yeah, no, dude. Freaking, I remember like taking trips to Portland, and shopping at like the main LL Bean store, and
Yeah, the big mall down there.
yeah.
I hate going to Portland. I hate it with a passion.
Mm,
It reminds me of Boston, and I
yeah.
hated driving in Boston.
Yeah. Well, I hate going to the other Portland.
both Portlands are a bit undesirable.
Yeah, it's like, you go to freaking Portland, Oregon, and you're like, oh, shit, am I gonna run into some Antifa fucking goof?
Am I gonna get hit with a milkshake?
Right, yeah. But yeah. No, man, I've been all over. I've actually lived in every corner and the middle of the lower 48 states, but because I was in Pensacola, Florida for my A school when I was in the Navy. I After I got out of the Navy, I went to Universal Technical Institute in Avondale, Arizona, which is one of the little surrounding towns of Phoenix. And like I said, I've lived in Maine and New Hampshire, and of course, the state of Washington. So, and then being raised in born and raised in the great state of Missouri, which is now finally, after 50 years, the host to the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Which, I mean, growing up on the eastern side of the state, it was like, all the St. Louis teams, and but like when the football Cardinals moved to Arizona, it was like, so although we did get the Rams for a while, and I won't lie, I was rooting for the Rams, and Kurt Warner, and we got a Super Bowl with him, but then they're like, oh no, we miss California, so we're going back. So I mean, I've pretty much been a Chiefs fan ever since, so it's like I in a sense, like I've spent my whole life waiting for these guys to get
Get a Super Bowl?
just to get to the Super Bowl, never mind win it, just get to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I mean, like the last time they were in the Super Bowl, they they won it, but that was the year before I was born.
Oh boy.
1970, right? They were in Super Bowl one against Green Bay, but of course they lost that one. And then they got lucky, I guess, in Super Bowl four, and so they won Super Bowl four, and then 50 long years later they won Super Bowl 54.
Yeah.
Um,
Poetic.
but unlike the first time, I do believe they have a team and especially a quarterback that's strong enough to make several return visits, within the next decade. So hopefully, knock on wood, we're looking at the next dynasty in football right here.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Uh,
it's
what time?
although
Yeah.
we not that we have a whole lot of people to run off, but usually usually when you start talking about sports ball, as they like to say, people start disappearing. But it's like what almost it's like 1:45 in the morning for you. Yeah.
Say I'm probably gonna slide off
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Well, we've been
Tomorrow.
going for an hour and 46 minutes. So
Oh yeah.
um I don't know when you were planning on talking about this movie, but
I
you
already,
know,
I already made my stream video. I'm not gonna make a video talking
yeah.
about it. The next video I'm actually working on and uploading isn't related to movies or anything going on. It's my own personal project.
Mm,
So it's something I've been working towards for a while now.
right on.
So
But
that's
all
that's
right, well, since it's past the Atlanteans' bedtime, we're gonna even though he probably doesn't have to go to school or anything in the morning. I know I don't, because it's President's Day, so they're giving us the day off at my local college that I decided to go to at the age of 48. And
nothing wrong with going to school.
yeah, now, well, I just recently had a birthday, so now I'm in the last year of my 40s. But yeah. Anywho, um, there's no school tomorrow, so that's another reason why I decided to do this tonight. But anyway, thank everybody for coming and hanging out and
Yes, thank you, thank you.
listening to us talk about Sonic for maybe a couple of minutes. But yeah,
we start,
maybe
we, we started
maybe
on
we'll do
Sonic.
it. Maybe we'll do it again. Maybe we'll do it again in a week or so when a lot more people have had the chance to see the movie, and we can actually talk about it in depth, and not have people scared of spoilers and whatnot. But yeah, thanks for coming, and fair winds and following seas. Well, actually, before we say that, uh, would you like to shout out your channel or anything like that?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I say Tommy's been
Uh,
sharing the link for the
well, screw it then. All right, everybody. Fair winds and following seas.